What size paper are construction plans printed on? This seems like a pretty basic question and answer, but it's really great. And anybody who's asking it, I really appreciate that you're doing this on Google and on YouTube, and that you're able to get this, because this is such an important topic. And I'll tell you why. You're probably like, Jason, you're being dramatic about paper sizes. Let me just say this. This is something I learned a long time ago. And let me give you a really cool story. There's a book called Elevating Construction Superintendents. It's a book that I wrote that has done really, really well. It's not a lot, but it's at like 180 reviews on Amazon at a 4.6 rating, which is really good. 4.8 is like top of the top. 4.4 is average, but 4.6 is a really good rating. So it's got really good ratings. And the first book was in a small font size. And I remember getting some feedback. Jason, bigger fonts, bigger fonts. And actually, we have formatted all of our books to be massive font sizes. It's because in construction, high stress, right? Lower testosterone levels for men, higher use of adrenaline, maybe blood pressure problems, bad eyesight, right? I have glasses. You know, I don't know if, not being in this industry, if I would still have glasses, right? Your eye health is related to your overall general health. In fact, I have to say this. I just went to an eye appointment to get my prescription updated. They took a picture of the inside of my eye, and the doctor said, the picture through your eye is a snapshot of your health. They can't see into your muscles and your heart and your organs, but they can see into your eye. And so what you can see in there is an indication of your health. And so that's why construction people have bad eyesight, because we have lots of stress, horrible field conditions. Hopefully that's changing now. You know, obviously it's related to our suicide rate, which is 5 times the national average, which is tragic. We are taking steps to fix all of that, but one of the consequences, at least in the short term, is that construction professionals have bad eyesight. So it was like, Jason, increase the font size. And then it hit me. We shouldn't just try and do the things that are designed or that we're told to do. Everything in construction works back from what the field folks need. So when we're talking about what size should I print something on, this is a simple question, but the answer is so all-encompassing. The answer is, what does the end user need it to be? Like, pretend like you're Apple. What does the MacBook, how would this sell? Is it simple enough? Is it easy enough? The iPhone that you carry around, is it simple enough? Have we looked at the end user? The size of the drawings needs to be in accordance to who's looking at it. If you're giving this to a foreman in the field, you're not going to have the small iPad. You're not going to look at it on the phone, and you're not going to print it on 8.5 by 11. It needs to be large enough for our field folks to view it. Let's just cover a couple of different scenarios, right? If you're working virtually with designers, Bluebeam is fine, whatever screen size they have. But if you're working in them a lot, you need a large screen size. If you're printing them out for a plan review for a permit set to get a permit from the city, it needs to be whatever the website and the building department tells you it needs to be. If it's for a plan review, and people are going to hate me for this, but the point is not paperless. The point is, what do we need to get the job done? We need to be doing sustainable forests. We need to be responsibly printing. But to say everything has to be paperless is nonsense. So if you're going to plan a project, I like to have those in at least a half size set, if not a full set, because I want to flip through them and I want to mark up and I want to go to Staples or Office Depot like it's Black Friday and get me as many, colored pencil sets, highlighters and everything. I can't restrict my brain. I've got to be able to sketch and mark everything up. If I'm going to go build from them, or I'm creating bid packages and I'm identifying the scope for the inclusions, maybe a half size set is fine. Sometimes I can do a decent job with 11 by 17, or it's just on my screen, right? If I'm going out in the field and the foremen are using them and they have to keep them in their hand, but they need to see it, the minimum is 11 by 17. You will default to a half size set, right? To where you can actually carry them, roll them up under your arms. If it's an RFI, you might then resort to 8.5 by 11. So there is no absolute standard. The absolute standard is, what does the end user need to see? Now, let me address a couple of questions here. What's the most common commercial paper size in construction? The most common size that I've seen for construction documents is half size. That's 24 by 36, or ARC-D. That is the most reasonable set. If you go to full size, it can be very hard to flip the pages, to carry them around, even to actually open the set, depending on what the base is. So half-size sets are most common. How do I make sure the scale is correct with Bluebeam or with other softwares? As long as whatever you're using, whether it's AutoCAD or Revit or whatever program that you're using, as long as the scale is correct for the sheet size and the views that you have, it's completely fine, and as long as it's printed to scale, you're going to be fine. Now, I will say it does have to be accurate, but the time or the times where we're scaling drawings out in the field is really over. We need to have exact dimensions. 3, are there standards according to the authority having jurisdiction for plan submissions? Yes, you'll want to go onto the website and check out those specific requirements and submit your plans accordingly. How many sets should I print, and where do I put them on the job site? Well, you might need a half-size or full-size set for the inspectors, so at least one. And if your superintendents or builders want a set of drawings for research, then you 100% need to get them those drawings, and don't try and force them into being paperless. If you have to have a set that's up to date and it's a printed set, you will have to post it, and it is annoying. And I know that electronic sets are easier to post, but I will tell you, if you're building off of it, it needs to be electronic, distributed, or updated if it's physical. But that doesn't mean that having a set of drawings for the builders, even if they're not up to date, doesn't help them to literally get a good idea of what's coming up. And yes, they should try and keep them up to date. I remember I used to pay my kids to slip sheet. They still complain about it to this day. But I just want you to know, don't be restrictive here. Print what you need. And lastly, what is the best size for the foreman or the crew? Ask them. Half-size set, 11 by 17 should be fine, but it's based on whatever they need. So I want you to go into it with that perspective. You can research more about it if you want. Usually your designers and the print shops will have good advice. You can ask them as well. But the bottom line is, make sure that it serves the need of the foreman and the crews. I'm so proud of that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll turn this into a blog post and give you some additional information, and I hope you're able to use it. On we go.